You need to be able to start with a blank canvas. That's it. Full stop. You need to be able to do that for yourself, okay? You need to be able to start with a blank canvas. Now, this video is about software and AI, but for now, imagine you're an artist, okay? You have a blank canvas in front of it. You need to be able to start with a blank canvas. You need to be able to look at nothing and be able to put something on it. That is a skill in and of itself. There is this effect where people will look at the blank canvas and they will get completely overwhelmed. They'll be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. And this is why, if you're a writer, writing prompts exist. They can give you something. If you're an artist and you're struggling, they'll tell you just to throw some paint on the canvas because then you can turn it into something. If you're a software engineer and you're struggling, start just writing some sort of code there. Fill the canvas up yourself. But listen to me, you need to be the one to do that, okay? Because when you let things like autocomplete, or now, of course, we have AI and LLMs do that for you, it is robbing you of that ability to generate the initial thought, to be the prime mover of the code. I'm speaking in a way that's very philosophically loaded. I know that, okay? I normally don't make videos like this. My point is, one of the skills that I have that has helped me so much in my career and continues to help me is that when I start a new project, I open up a terminal and I am met with a blank screen, okay? I run Vim on a file and I get a blank screen and I am able to start filling that with stuff. When I'm looking at these younger programmers that are just getting out of college, they're juniors, they're maybe interning somewhere, they don't know how to do that. They open up a blank terminal and they completely go blank in the mind. And that is not good. I want to help you to be able to get out of that. You've seen this. I've seen people post this on like Reddit. I've seen people email me with this. I've had people talk about it in my Discord. Basically, they will do all the right things. They'll do their homework in school. Like, they have maybe it's ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. They have some sort of AI helping them. They'll do their homework. They'll go to like LeetCode. They'll do coding puzzles. They'll have all these things. They'll feel like they have all the knowledge. And then when they open up the text editor and there is nothing there, their brain just completely shuts down. That's okay. You're not alone in feeling that way. You just need to be able to push past that, okay? That is something that AI, LLM, autocompletes, that's hindering you from doing that, but it's not the thing that stopped you from doing that, okay? Because I learned how to program without any of that stuff, and I still found a blank screen, a blank canvas to be daunting. That's my point here. If you're like, oh, AI's made it so I can't do anything with a blank canvas, no. It's really hard even without AI, okay? When you stare at a blank screen and you think, I have to be the one to get this started, I have to do something, it can be very difficult. But there is power. There is something amazing that happens when you are the one to direct what goes on the screen, when you are the one to make that choice, when you take ownership of that, when you make a choice, even if it's the wrong choice, the act of you making that choice, I can't explain it. I'm not someone who studies the human brain. I can't tell you what happens. I can only tell you from my experience that my act of doing that, when I make a choice and I start doing something, even if it's the wrong choice, something happens in my brain and it unlocks my creativity and lets me actually enter that, they talk about like the flow state or whatever. I can enter that state much more quickly if I am the one who's making the choices behind it. So again, this is a weird video, but I wanted to come up with a way to help people that were going through this because I've heard this from multiple people. I get people that email me their questions. I get people that are in school or have just graduated school and they're learning how to program and they're looking to me for guidance. That surprised me at first, but then I realized I was like, well, I have 15 years of experience. I'm on the internet. I guess maybe I am in a place where I can start giving this advice. I always couch it. I always say like, hey guys, like, listen, this is just my advice. I can't promise it's going to work. I can just tell you what I do and that it works for me. So let's go back to the canvas example, right? You're an artist, you have a blank canvas. Here's the beautiful thing. The canvas doesn't go on the floor. The canvas goes on an easel. Someone made that easel. That easel's made out of wood. Some woodworker or something constructed that for you. It's the same with computers. When someone says, go and make this from scratch, you're not taking zeros and ones and integrated circuits and soldering stuff. You're not doing any of that. You're opening up a text editor, which is a program that runs in user space on your computer, which has a kernel and a distribution and an operating system and a whole set of utilities and a set of system calls and all these APIs for you to use. So you actually have a whole lot of stuff there. So this is the first thing that can help you get out of this trap, okay? When you think I have a blank canvas, it's blank, but underneath it is so much stuff at your disposal. You have to write code to maybe loop over something, but the loop construct is already there. You just might have to memorize a little bit of syntax to do this. This goes into why people ask me why I like Bash so much as a language. They're like, Bash is slow. It's like, yeah, I talk about that all the time. I know that. Don't get me wrong. No one knows Bash is slow better than people who write Bash, okay? The reason I like it is because the language is very simple and a lot of it fits in my brain. So if let's do an example here. If I'm on an airplane, I use that example because of like airplane mode in your phone, but literally if I'm on an airplane and I don't have Wi-Fi, I have nothing, I can open up my laptop and I could write bash and I don't need to look up any sort of documentation for it. I have it all in my brain, at least 95% of it, enough to be really productive with it. And it's great. Because when I come up with a problem to solve, it's like, okay, now I need to figure out how to do this. I don't have to go Google it. I don't have to go to Stack Overflow. I don't have to go to an LLM. I don't have to tell something. I don't have to delegate work and be a manager. I get to be a programmer. I don't want to be a manager. I don't long to be a manager. I don't want that responsibility. But when you start inviting these LLMs, these autocompletes, these other things into your editor, you don't become a programmer anymore. You get to be a manager. You get to delegate your tasks out to these things. You're working on a different skill. You're working on the skill of becoming a manager, and then you lament that you're not good at programming. It's like, well, yeah, because you stopped programming. You became a manager. That sucks. If that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to do, if you want to be a manager, like, go for it, man. Like that's your prerogative. I don't have any desire in doing that. I like to write code. I like to program. I find computer science to be very enjoyable. So if you've never experienced this before, what I would recommend you do, come up with a problem that you want to solve. Come up with even like a very simple problem. Like, I want to make a loop in a language that loops 5 times and prints, the counter 5 times. Go open up a text editor with whatever language you want and just have a blank screen and then challenge yourself to write that. And now you might be thinking, oh, come on, Dave, that's super easy. It's just a simple loop. Then fine, maybe this video isn't for you. But for a lot of people, just the act of staring at the text editor that doesn't have autocomplete, it's not connected to the internet. That text editor says, hey, I need you to write exactly what you need me to do, or else I won't do it. Nothing else will help. You have to be the one. This is the text editor talking to you in this example. The text editor saying like, hey, you have to direct me to do this or else I won't do it. Just the act of seeing that text editor come up might spark something in your brain where you're like, oh yeah, like I do need to learn how to do this. And there's going to be an incredible amount of discomfort here. Let me show you guys real quick, actually. Here, look, pop up my main layout right here, Vim script. We're going to make a new script called script. There we go. We're in it. Look at that. Before I even started talking, my hands already started writing the shebang here. People have told me in my videos, Dave, you can automate this. You don't have to keep doing this every time. You don't have to keep chmod and plus X the script and you have to do it all the time. Then I'll forget. This muscle memory is valuable to me. I like being able to do this. So what did I say? We could do like a loop like for I in 1.5 do echo $I done. Look at that. I knew to use the curly braces. I know to put the number ... another number. I know to quote the variable expansion. I know when a $sign goes there and when a $sign doesn't go there. I know if I run this, I'm going to get 1 through 5 without an error. I know this because I know this language inside and out. I think that's an incredibly valuable skill, but the skill isn't really knowing the language. That is a skill, don't get me wrong, but my skill is I can open up a blank text editor and put all this here using nothing but my brain. That is an incredibly valuable skill, and if you're not able to do that, it's scary. It literally is. I'm not lying to you. When you open up the text editor and there's nothing there, you can get a little bit intimidated by that. And let me tell you, when you're intimidated like that, when your nervous system gets spiked, you're not going to write your best code. Like, it's just very simple. When I go into a text editor, I'm comfortable there. And people say, they're like, Dave, I wish I was comfortable when I'm in the text editor. It's like, keep going there. It's no different. People are like, I'm uncomfortable when I go to the gym and work out. It's like, well, keep going. Just keep going. You'll stop being uncomfortable. You have to sit in that discomfort for a while to learn to be comfortable with it. That's just something you're going to have to do. I have a weird story with this. I'm going to need you to follow me here. But I remember there actually is 2 different stories about this. But one was I was playing one of my favorite games, which is GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64. It's just something about the games that came out when you were younger that they're the best games. You ever notice that? They're just objectively the best games, the games that came out when you were young. But either way, I was playing GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64, and I remember I had beaten in the hardest difficulty, and I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Like, what are some other challenges? So then I got into the realm of speed running, This was like 2016, 2017, and I remember like this was so cool. Like, I could learn to beat one of these levels really, really fast. GoldenEye, if you don't know, there is a quirk in this game that speedrunners detected way before 2016. It's called look down, or in some levels you actually look up, but it's called look down. Basically, when you're running with Bond, sometimes it's faster in the game to actually just look straight down. You're basically not rendering objects that are outside of your view. If Bond's staring directly at the ground, then I'm not rendering the barrel that's in front of him, or, certain guard graphics. A lot of graphics are not being rendered. There's less lag, so I can, run a little bit faster. It's more nuanced than that. I'm giving you a very abridged version of it. But my point is, you look straight down in the game. Now, that means you can't see what's coming. Okay, so just like, here's where the analogy comes in, just like the blank screen of the text editor, I can't see where Bond is going. Now I know this level, the first level I did was Dam, which is the first level of Bond. It's a very simple level. You just run to the end, Dam agent, and you basically look down pretty much the whole time. At the end, you kind of look up, but it's the same thing. You're just unloading things so you can run with less lag. What I noticed, this was so interesting to me, is the moment I tilted the camera down, the moment I looked straight down at the ground, I froze up. And I was like, oh my God, wait, I can't see anything. I knew that was going to be the case. Logically, I completely understood. Going into this, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to see anything. I'm gonna be looking down. I'm not gonna know what's coming ahead of me. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Once I did it and actually had the visceral experience, I was like, oh, I can't see anything. This is real. So I remember that feeling. It was visceral. It was like, oh my God, this is actually going to be a very serious challenge. That's why I think it's so funny. This is totally an aside, but I think it's so funny when people fake blindfolded speed runs, because it's so obvious. Super Mario 64 has this. I love Super Mario 64 too. I dare anyone, not even Super Mario 64, pick your favorite game and try to pick a small level, maybe something that takes 20, 30 seconds to do, and then challenge yourself to do it blindfolded. Challenge yourself to do it blindfolded, because in your head, you're like, oh yeah, that'll be pretty hard. Once you put the blindfold on or you turn the TV off, it's so much harder than you could logically reason. It's just on a visceral, fundamental, almost subconscious level. It's oh, this isn't hard. This is impossible. That's the feeling I got. The reason I bring this up is because this is the feeling that people are describing to me when they look at code. They pull up their text editor. They know exactly what they have to do. It's okay, I have to reverse a linked list, or something stupid that you get asked in an interview that you never actually do your job. You get asked to do something reverse a linked list or implement Dijkstra's algorithm. And it's okay, that's well and good. You open up a blank text editor. You don't have access to any autocomplete. You're not allowed to use any LLMs or whatever. And then it's okay, code. And you put your hands on the keyboard and you look at it and you're like, oh, it's not imposter syndrome if I'm actually an imposter. I actually don't know what I'm doing. And like I said before, this was a hard thing to deal with even before LLMs and stuff like that. Okay, this was a very real thing. Now the younger generation is dealing with that with LLMs and autocomplete. So you have had a lot of stuff given to you. I'm not trying to fault you for that. I'm not trying to say oh, you young kids have everything. That's not what I'm saying. I actually think the deck's stacked against you. I'm sorry. The fact that you were given so much means that when you have to go to a blank terminal, or a blank text editor, you are at such a disadvantage, and that sucks. And I see that. I see people talking about this and how that feeling specifically is something that comes up. So if that's something you're dealing with, first of all, I'm sorry. That's awful. It's a hard thing to deal with, but it's a skill. It is a skill. And that's the good news. Because it's a skill, you can learn it. You can learn it, okay? That's the good news here. You can learn to be uncomfortable with it. Here's the thing, you just have to sit in the discomfort. So this means you're going to have to learn languages a little more than you've learned them. You're going to have to learn some of the syntax around it. You might completely disagree with me. You might just be like, Dave, that's great, but you're old, and computers, we don't care about the syntax now. We just have AI write and read everything. And if that's how you are, that's fine. This video is not for you. But if you want to feel comfortable when you're thrust into that situation of a blank canvas of there's nothing on the screen and I have to put something there, because again, this applies to more than just coding and stuff. You need to learn to sit in that discomfort. And this can help you in life. I'm not trying to overhype it, but this just helps you when it comes time to make a decision. Decision making can be very hard, but decision making is a skill. There's a reason managers and stuff are paid good money. There's a reason. It's a hard thing to do, but sometimes you have to be able to make decisions. And it's such a positive feedback loop. Once you learn to get comfortable with it, that discomfort goes away, or at least gets very diminished, but you learn to take pride in your decisions. You learn to really radically own the decisions. And I don't know, it's a cool magical thing that happens when you do that. So yeah, kind of a weird video, kind of a bit of a yap session here, but hopefully I can motivate you to get better at this. Here's the thing. If I motivated you, motivation doesn't last long. Okay. You might feel good after watching this video, and then 20 minutes, you'll forget about it. Okay, what I need you to do is you got to turn that motivation into discipline. I can't do that for you. There's a magical process where motivation becomes discipline. I can motivate you, I can lead you to water, but I can't make you disciplined. I can't make you drink. Discipline has to derive from within. So you have to watch this and be like, I am going to do this. I'm going to sit down right now and do this, or I'm going to come up with some sort of plan of attack. Whatever works best for you. You have to come up with some sort of way to practice this, to cement this knowledge. So yeah, if I appreciate it if you made it this far, thank you. Hopefully this was useful and this wasn't just like a weird old man yelling at cloud type of thing. But yeah, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I want to get this channel to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think that'd be pretty cool. And of course, shout out to my patrons over at Patreon. Look at this. Look how many. We have 88 active members. So thank you so much for your continued support, everyone. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And yeah, like I said, weird video, but I've just been thinking about this for a while. I thought it might be nice to just sort of get this out there and hopefully it helps someone. So thank you for watching. Take care. See you, everyone.